Good evening, everybody. Have you read any good books lately? Well, I have. Stay tuned and I'll be right back with you. Good evening, everybody, and I'm back. The book that I am talking about, it is called Crohn's Disease, Memoir from the Toilet, and it is by Kevin Gibson. The author from it is actually from Jeffersonville, Clarksville, Indiana, just right across the bridge. I don't know if I'm getting the two mixed up because he had to go to Clark Memorial Hospital after he couldn't get into his doctor anymore in Louisville. And I live in Louisville, so I know the general area where he was. Anyway, he starts off in his book with talking about, you know, how any of us that have Crohn's disease, and it's really, really bad, how he's just doubling over in pain. The diarrhea is ungodly. Having it so much that it gets down to the sloughing off of the inside of your intestines. And if you've had it really, really bad, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The sloughing off is like the white stuff that comes out because you already went through everything, and now it's tearing off at your intestines. And his vomiting and him just withering away to nothing. He couldn't finish school up there. He couldn't keep his job until finally his parents made him come home. So his parents made him come home, and they wanted to take care of him because, as many of you know that have Crohn's disease, and I don't know what stage everybody's in. When I was diagnosed with mild to severe Crohn's disease, and then it was quickly raised up to severe Crohn's disease. You can have fissures, you can have fistulas, you can't stay out of the bathroom, you better take a book, your laptop, your cell phone, you better have something in there because you're going to be in there a while. And you better hope that you have more than one bathroom at your home because you're going to be in there a while. So, you know, he lived in the bathroom, and we all know that's how that is. And so his parents wanted him to come home so they could take care of him. And by this time, he was nothing but a rack of bones. And so I think he was getting some treatment when he was away from home. And then he came back, and his parents found him a doctor in Louisville. And I don't remember exactly because it's been a little while since I've read this book, but oh my god, I just always have to tell people about this book because it was inspiring, and I laughed through the whole thing. But it's a really good book for people that don't know what it is people go through with Crohn's disease, because I mean he is in detail, and so you have to have a strong stomach, and you know, a lot of us, we had that strong stomach. He still remained really, really sick. And once you get to that point, it's really hard to bounce back. And in his book, you will read that he is having a hard time bouncing back. And that is really normal for a lot of people. And eventually, some people get to go in remission. And it depends on the medication, because not all medication. It's been a couple years since I've read this book, but I could just read it over again, and I might do it. It was a good book, and like I said, it had a lot of humor in it. And then it goes on, he had a girlfriend. There we go. He had a girlfriend, and and she came to Indiana to see him. Okay. So she came to Indiana to see him, and I think eventually they end up breaking things off. I don't want to ruin this for everybody though, but eventually, and I want to say he had a feeding tube. I mean, he was really in really bad shape, and he was in that bad shape because he wasn't getting the treatment that he needed. And I've been in that shape because my insurance had a deductible, and in order for me to get what I needed, I had to meet that deductible. Oh, sorry. You know, this is like a brand to my videos. I yawn a lot. I miss yawn a lot. So anyway, he had really bad. I would have gotten to that point. And I did. And I had to meet a deductible. I had to meet the deductible in order to get my supplies, doctor treatment, anything. And so when you have insurance and you're the only person on it and you need to meet a deductible and you're always needing to go to the ER, well, you go to the ER to meet your deductible. So one visit with us will cover the deductible. And that's what I would do. And then I'd fill out the paperwork and I get a discount because I had insurance. Well, it's 10 o'clock. I've been up for a while. So I don't know that he had insurance, but I know his parents took good care of him. But like I said, not everybody can meet the deductible. Until you can meet that deductible, I mean, a lot of times doctors won't mess with you until you meet that deductible. And if you have a copay, well, that's fine. And sometimes even here, and Norton's and my doctors that are affiliated with Norton's, they know I have a deductible, and so I just hand them my card and they'll swipe it and give me it back. But the ones that are affiliated with Jewish and U of L or Kentucky One Health, they bill me. And I don't know why, but okay. Anyway, so I understand I understand him very well because when you have this disease, it eats you alive, literally. And through the book, the way he describes it and describes what he's going through, when you're reading it, you feel like you're there and you're there with him. You can see, and I don't know if it's because you get into his character, and I think that's why. I think it's because the way he describes everything and what he's going through, and because you've already gone through it, you're right there with him. You know exactly what he's going through. You know the pain he's going through, so you are with him in a sense. And you've been there. Oh my gosh! Wow. So he's just, and eventually, he has more surgeries, and it's, he talks about his parents waiting for him outside while he's having surgeries, and the complications, and all that stuff. And here you've had the same issues, and you're going for your 15th surgery, and, you know, I don't even know how many surgeries I've had. I just know all the scars. I can tell you what this scar is, and that scar. Oh yeah, that little scar, that's from a resection, and, you know, I've got scars all over my stomach, and I'm embarrassed for anybody to see it. And so, now the World Wide Web had just started bouncing off, and we were dialing up to AOL. And so I went to Barnes & Noble and got a book. And that's what we used to do. We didn't have the internet. We read books. And, you know, I'm sure now that you could get a Crohn's book. I don't know if Barnes & Noble's even still open or not. The book I got it on Kindle, but I actually bought it off Amazon. And you get downloads to your Kindle, they're cheap. Unless you buy it hardback, then you're going to pay more. I think I only gave, at the most, $5. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I have Amazon Prime. I usually get discounts. But anyway, he's just, you know what he's gone through, and you understand it because you've gone through it. You're going through it. You know, I have never been in remission. Remission is when you no longer have symptoms. Then you're in remission. I always have symptoms. I'm not in remission. I think at some point he finally does. I don't think he goes in remission completely. I think he still has symptoms. I don't remember how old this book is. Look, you know, he's going through the trials, tribulations, losing his job, not having any money, having his parents take care of him. You know, he's a grown adult, and he can't finish school, he can't go to work, he can't, and that is the reality of Crohn's disease. That's not what they show on TV. What they show on TV is unrealistic. They need to show somebody that, you know, gets up out of bed and goes to the bathroom and sits there for 20 minutes till they're finally done and gets up and maybe goes back to bed, or maybe goes to sit on the couch and watch TV. Or somebody gets up, takes a shower, and then has to go out and lay back down because they're exhausted. So, what he was writing in his book is what the reality of what Crohn's disease is. And it's just, people still don't know what it really is. Nobody knows until they experience it themselves. So, he really put in perspective what Crohn's disease is. And he did it with humor. And that kept my attention. And it was just, it's a good book. But the book in itself, I really enjoyed it. It is truly, it's not a very long book. It's not. He didn't go from childhood to present. He went from the time he started getting sick to present. And he puts a picture up of when he comes to live with the parents. And then he puts another picture up of what he looks like now. And that is the reality. I have a video called My Many Faces or something like that. And I'll post the link to go to that one. And it shows all the different all the different stages I've been through, where I've gained weight, I've lost so much weight, I look horrible, and that's, I mean, people do. I mean, Crohn's disease is horrible. It eats away at you, and it can kill you. I don't know how many people. Not everybody has Crohn's disease. Is skinny. I was a twig. I could have been broken in half. And I started. Yeah, and he started. I think he was on the one that I won't go on, because it messes with your liver. Oh shoot, I can't think of the name of it right now. But it's also an infusion, and I won't take it. I don't, not that I don't mind taking infusions, just that one really messes with your, it's another chemo drug, and it messes with your liver, and I've been on so many drugs that does affect your kidneys and your liver, and, I've had my heart messed with a couple surgeries, and I had the pulmonary embolism, and that put a big strain on my heart. And I was put on a healthy heart diet heart healthy diet because they said I had CHF, and so Crohn's comes with a lot of extra things, and that is the true reality of Crohn's disease. And he is the poster child for Crohn's disease, but he has the most amazing outlook on life, and it's just sad that people that that struggle, and they keep picking themselves right back up. I did the same thing. Kept getting knocked down, get right back up. And I had surgery before this last one I had done in 2014. I was clinically dead. They brought me back, and I kept praying and praying. I was like, just take me, because my body couldn't take no more. But God said it wasn't time, and He wasn't taking me, so I wasn't the first time I was knocking on heaven's doors. So, we just keep going. And this book, I tell you, is a breath of fresh air. I can get that out. But I would recommend anybody to read it. If you have any kind of illness, chronic illness, read it, because Crohn's disease is a chronic illness. It's a chronic disease, and just because you don't have Crohn's doesn't mean you can't relate to him. You can relate to him on all levels, because he does have a chronic illness, a chronic disease. It doesn't go away. So, in every aspect, you can relate to him, and you can laugh with him. So, on that note, don't forget, if you get a chance, pick up Crohn's Disease, the memoir from the toilet, by Kevin Gibson. And I promise you, you'll not regret it. You guys have a good night.